AB, aka Mr. Nice Guy, aka nothing else, because I do not do videos like this. But I had to break down the Batman. And the reason why is because I am a comic book geek of like well over my whole life. Like I used to read Hardware and Static Shock when I was under that, like very young, and it was at the library. I read Superman comics. Emperor Joker was the first comic book I ever read. Was about Emperor Joker and Superman having to fight him when he took over the universe, and like that's my thing. And I love Batman, Static, Vixen. Those are like my top three heroes right there. So watching the Batman, I watch it with so much enthusiasm because I love the Batman, and the fact that I'm one of those people who felt like even though I think Dark Knight's a great film, the last 15 minutes disappoints me with the Two-Face reveal, killing Two-Face off, and then like I could tell that I didn't even watch the Dark Knight #3 because I knew they were butchering the image of certain people that I love. Like Bane is Hispanic. I didn't like the Eastern European concept of him. I didn't like the concept of Batman and Selena Kyle retiring and somebody who's not Dick Grayson or taking over as Batman. Or the fact there was no introduction of Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne at all. Or even Stephanie Brown. I didn't like the idea of that. So I knew that I wasn't going to like the Batman films when they avoid Robin. Because Robin, even though contrary to popular belief by Christopher Nolan, is a dark character. Robin in himself is a dark character. His parents died in a freak circus accident that was caused by another mobster. He was adopted by a man who dresses up as a bat at nighttime, and he had to avoid becoming the Dark Knight himself. And the Titans, even though I don't like the Titans live action TV show per se, their depiction of Dick Grayson is very accurate to the point of what Dick Grayson would be, which is a dark character who is disputing with the fact of becoming a happy person or becoming the next Batman. And the fact that Batman's whole purpose was to prevent Robin from becoming the next Batman. But that's a different story. We'll talk about that another time. Let's talk about the Batman. It was a great movie if there was no freaking music. The music in the Batman was horrible. The opening credits opened up. It shows the Batman, and the first music I hear, I'm like, this is going to be a bust. In my head, this is going to be a bust. But it wasn't. Oh my gosh. Robert Pattinson, Twilight. I've never watched Twilight because I hate the idea of sparkling vampires. I'm about to watch it because he was incredible. Jim Gordon, incredible. Even Alfred gave me that. Like, I love the fact that Gotham, the TV series Alfred, is now the basis for Alfred. Rest in peace, because if you read the comic books, you know I'm not going to spoil it. But rest in peace to Alfred in the comic books. I'm not going to ruin what happens. Damian Wayne, my heart's out to you. But we know what happens if you read the comic books, what happens to Alfred. This Alfred was incredible. The reluctancy of Batman accepting him as a father figure. So much storytelling. Selena Kyle, perfectly done. I'ma do it my own way. I'm looking out for my sister. My sister's dead. I'm killing everybody. Perfect. Shout out to Miss Kravitz. It was a perfect. But then the music plays. It was so corny, and this is what's crazy. I am a saxophonist. My grandfather played drums in plenty of jazz bands growing up. If you know about Mo Jazz, he was signed to Mo Jazz imprint. Like, when I tell you that I come from a history of family who knows music, I know music. I don't just listen to hip hop, R&B, and soul. No, like rock and roll, classical music, jazz. I love jazz. Like, I know it. This was horrible. It did not match with the mood that the writers had for the film. And because of that, it ruined the movie. There was points, a perfect example. Batman versus the people who were under the influence of Riddler. Spoiler alert. There's a point at the end when Riddler's captured, but he has people that he's influenced who are going to finish up the job for him, and Batman has to fight them. That musical score was horrible. Like, when I tell you it was horrible, it was like, and this is also talking to a kid who grew up on the best Batman musical score in history, which was the Batman animated series. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Like, do you understand that? Like, it's you cannot. If you're gonna overscore a movie, you have to overscore it to the level of what comic book fans are used to. And I think there's this idea in Hollywood that comic book fans do not appreciate the art outside their heroes. And I blame Marvel because Marvel made it very simple formula. But the formula they gave works. It was the comic books it was the music for Captain America, Spider-Man, Thor, Iron Man. That music works for them because they are those type of heroes. But when you come to DC and you're dissecting someone like Batman, I think he's the second oldest or third oldest comic book hero. You gotta understand there's a huge load there. And that music did not and it was repetitive. Very, very repetitive. I did not do any research on the people who did the music. I do not produce music. I do not work in that field at all. So I'm not going to rip them apart. But what I will say is this. As a consumer who loves Batman, who's read several comic books, who's seen every Batman film except for the last Dark Knight one, because when I saw Bane didn't have any Venom, I wasn't rocking with it. When I saw that there was no Robin during No Man's Land or Azrael, I wasn't rocking with it. But that's just the comic book bias in me. Somebody who's seen the Snyder cuts, who feels like only Wonder Woman and Aquaman were the only properly cast heroes in Justice League, right? These are things that's why I'm not a YouTuber, because everybody loves Henry. I think the guy from Superman and Lois does a way better job as Superman because Superman's a Boy Scout, okay? And him coming from, if you know any white guys in middle America, they're sweethearts. Like, on some real, on the realest ish I can give you. I went to med school in Denver. Those white boys from Kansas are sweethearts. Those dudes are the most innocent, nice guys in the world. They are the blood of America. Like, I'm not lying. Those guys are nice as hell. That's who Superman is. And they become corrupt when they come into a big city like Denver, LA, New York. They get corrupted. They have to adjust their hometown feelings to match the big city cutthroatness that they deal with, which is what Clark Kent is. Clark Kent, Superman, is a young boy from Kansas who has good family values, coming to Metropolis and dating a city girl named Lois. I said city girl, but yeah, it fits, right? And dealing with a reality that not everyone's good, and that not everyone has a good story, and some people will do whatever it takes to get over on you. And then there's this confliction of staying the Boy Scout or succumbing to the reality of what the world really is outside of Kansas. That's who Superman is. Henry Cavill does not do a good job. Not him, but the writers for Man of Steel not going to do a good job of portraying him as that. They portray him as a bigger-than-life god, which is why I'm not a fan of the Justice League or the Superman series of those type, right? But rewind it back, except for Man of Steel, which I thought was really cool with the dad, whatever. But rewind it back to this Batman film. They did a perfect job of diluting the guilt Bruce Wayne deals with from finding out that his father was. Wait till the Court of Owls come out. When Bruce Wayne realizes, yo, my dad wasn't a saint. He had flaws. But even the Riddler, oh, that says spoilers already. Even the Riddler identifying himself as an orphan and saying, "How can Bruce Wayne be an orphan with all that money?" An orphan is someone who I saw critics talk about how they took a political turn. Those critics are white men who benefit from white privilege. That's what those critics are. Okay? Those critics do not understand that I have white friends who come from that environment Riddler was talking about, not orphanage wise, but foster home wise, who could relate to exactly what the Riddler was saying was how dare you even call yourself an orphan when you're a billionaire? Amazing. Perfect. Bruce Wayne. The jealousy of Bruce Wayne that you lost your father, we lost our savior. He didn't say that, but that's what was portrayed through the concept of this, right? But then it was ruined by a horrible musical score. The music was horrible. I don't know what else to say, and I think that anybody that watches it will agree when they say, I don't know, the Batman was great, but there was something off about it. They will say, you know what? It was the music. The music. The sound. If you put, I could put, I, whoever's out there, I don't have enough time. I'm not going to tell you what I do for a living, but I'm a very busy man. I don't have the time to put Batman animated series sounds over the full movie of the Batman. But if someone did that and found a way to remove the music just to have the action scenes there, you would have a perfect Batman film. The Dark Knight is my favorite Batman film. Heath Ledger, rest in peace, was the best Joker in history. But boy, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This was a better movie than The Dark Knight without the musical score. If there was no music, it was better than Dark Knight. It was the perfect Batman. The detective, the fighter, the having to balance the Bruce Wayne and Batman lifestyle, the inexperience of being in 2 years, the Selena Kyle relationship, the love for Alfred, the importance of Alfred to this man's life. Jim Gordon, the corruption of the Gotham PD, the corruption of Gotham City, the pretty much how Gotham has no hope. This movie covered all of it perfect. Even the Riddler being, do you really disagree with this guy? The Riddler called out. It wasn't until the end where you're like, okay, Riddler, you fucked up. But until you messed up. But until then, the Riddler was I agreed everything he did up to the end. The mayor was dirty. Falcone, you know how we feel about Falcone if you read the comic books. He's the one that got in my head, even though the comic books also, same to the movie, will not give him credit, killed Bruce Wayne's parents. You know? Like, I agree with the Riddler on everything until the end. So I just wanted to make this video. It's 13 minutes long. I'm sorry, 14, 15 minutes, whatever. The musical score. The Batman movie, without the musical score, is a 10 out of 10. With the musical score, it really drops down to like a 7, 6 out of 10. It was horribly placed music. It was horribly placed. And the best part is everyone involved already got their money. So no one cares about some guy who's probably going to get 5 views on YouTube about this video. The music was horrible. And I hope when they do, I think they're going to do a sequel, they change the musical score. It wasn't a good concept. It was not good. It was not edging. It wasn't bringing me to the edge of my seat. It really ruined a lot of great storytelling and concepts of this movie. This is Dre B, aka Mr. Nice Guy. I love the Batman. Shout out to the musical score guys. I know you guys got your check. That's it. Have a great day.